Hello. I see there are a few people here. Thank you very much. We'll give it another minute um, and see. Maybe I don't have volume. I'm not sure that I have volume. Okay. You should have volume now. I'm not sure if you did before. All right. Well, let's get started. I just wanted to briefly check in and go over the idea of the rough draft and the final draft of the letter. Okay, so I think people had asked for examples of some things. I gave a few examples last time. I'd like to give a few more examples today. Let me see. Let's start with the social media posts. So I printed out a few that I thought were good. To me, I didn't feel that you need a lot of direction on social media. You know more about it than I do. Here's an example that I really liked. It's addressed to the public school board, and it says, let's do this, 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 and this. I thought that was fabulous. And then at the bottom is a comment saying, you can't read it. Let's save our forests and come together as a community. Here's another one. Which is this? This is, I don't know if it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And so at the top, they're giving a comment on the problem, what the problem is. And here's a feedback loop. And let's do something about it at the bottom. Here's another awesome one. This was about NASA. And it gives the idea of the energy in from the sun and the energy out from the sun and hitting the ice and the lowered albedo, or the lowered albedo when ice melts, but having ice sends some of that energy back out into the universe. And then here's another one, someone that does not have social media at all. And so he made it to look like a Facebook post and wrote what he would have put in the post. And at the bottom, there's a like, and there's, I can't actually read a couple of dislikes. 300 dislikes, 1.2 thousand likes. Okay. So don't feel that you have to actually make the post. I prefer that you do actually make the post. It does not have to be on your site. You can go to an organization that you want to make a comment on their site, and you can post there, and again, take a screenshot and post it. You can also draft a post, and if you really don't want to post it, take a screenshot and then don't post it. So you make the draft, you make it up, take the screenshot, and then don't post it. That's fine also. I'm not checking that you've actually done it. Just go ahead and do something. Morning. Good morning, y'all. Victory Royale. I don't know what that means. So then I have a few examples of feedback loops I'd like to show you also. So these are ones that we've talked about before. Let me see. So in this one, the body is cooler you warm up either from exercise or the temperature in the air, the body becomes too warm, you sweat, and the body cools. So that's a negative feedback loop. We've gone through this in class. It's in the PowerPoint on feedback loops. Here's another one, which is the opposite of that. The body is warmer, you shiver, and you get too cold. I'm sorry. The body cools, you get too cold, and then you shiver to warm up. And again, that's a negative feedback loop. You get too cold, maybe it's cold outside. Maybe you've been in the swimming pool and you got out of the swimming pool. You get too cold, you shiver, and your body warms up. I have another one here on cows, climate change in cows. Let me see if I can get the whiteboard in that image there. Not really. There was only one person out of all the classes that is doing the feedback loop with cows, so I thought it would be okay to go over that. So cows, if we're starting here, cows give off methane. By giving off methane, so that's when they either burp or fart, they give off methane, and that increases greenhouse gases. The temperature rises, people eat more beef, and that means we grow more livestock. We have cows, and that cycle continues. All right, so that's a positive feedback loop. Besides giving off methane, we clear land for cows. When we clear the land so that they have pastures, that means that there's less oxygen put into the air from the trees. That means that less CO2 is taken out of the air. So that's an increase in greenhouse gases. And we come back and finish this loop here. So this is like an offshoot. Clearing the land for cows is an offshoot of this feedback loop that we started with. We also have to grow grain to feed cows. And to do that, we use tractors. And when we use tractors to grow the grain, we burn fossil fuels, and that increases greenhouse gases. And that's where the tractor part of it comes into this this original feedback loop that we started with. So some of yours were very simple. I may have added a comment that it's very simple. I may have taken off 1 or 2 or 3 points for that. You can improve it by adding in some of the side things that go into your loop. Just be sure that the information you're putting in your loop is accurate. Let me take a look and see if you have questions. How to do the final draft. I'll be going into the rough draft and the final draft next. Moo. Okay. I'm late. Okay. Welcome. I'm glad that you came on board. So then the next thing that I want to go over, I feel that kind of covers the posts, the feedback loop. So now let's go into the rough draft. I guess we can't get to that. So the rough draft, the first thing that you need to do is get the instructions from page 5. So page 5 of the performance task has the instructions on it. And the first thing that's asking for names of and address of the recipient. So you put the names of everyone in your group. If you're not comfortable using your full name, I know not everyone is comfortable with their name being out there for privacy reasons and sometimes safety reasons. So if you're not comfortable with putting your full name out there, just be sure to put your first name out there so that I know who to give credit for on the final draft. So after you put your names, you need to put my name, Mrs. Lawandi, and then Pittsburgh High School, and then the address at Pittsburgh High School, 1750 Harbor Street. All of this is in the instructions for the rough draft. So if you're not understanding what I'm saying, go back to the assignment and click on, it's not a tab, but where there's like a color that goes across where it has the assignment name. If you click on that, the instructions pop up. And then the next thing you need to do is, oh, it doesn't have the address of the organization that you're writing to. Okay, you do need to put in the date and the address of the organization that you're writing to, and then you introduce yourself, you explain why it matters, and what your plan is. What is it that you're asking them to do? You close sincerely, or regards, or yours truly, and then you can type a signature and then your type name. For the final draft, you're going to take out all of these headings here, and you're going to leave all the information that you put in. All right, so don't forget that you need to put the address of the actual organization or person that you're writing the letter to. And then the other 2 or 3 paragraphs are about what you're asking them to do, why it's important. All right. Are there any other questions about the rough draft or the final draft of the letter, or any other questions at all? Tee-hee. I don't really see anything else that we need to talk about right now. The final draft is 1 per group, so you have to be sure that you've collaborated with your group, that you're in agreement on the final draft, and that you have the names of all those people at the top as the name of the recipient. Okay. Actually, it seems like something was cut off before this. It has to be your names first, then the date, then the name and the address of the recipient. Does everyone have to submit that final draft? No, 1 per group. That's why it's important that you made sure everyone has seen it before that one person submits it, that their name is on it. Everyone's name in the group is on it. And then 1 person per group submits that. Do we combine ours in the final draft? So you do collaborate with the other people in your group. Maybe all of you said basically the same thing, but in a different way. So you might want to take one sentence from one person, another sentence from another one. Maybe you said different things. So you want to take the important things from each of those people's letters and get all of that put in there. So, yes, you have to collaborate in your group and combine your ideas and make sure they all come out. Now, as far as everyone in the group getting credit for that, if you did not submit a rough draft to me, I don't feel that you have contributed to that final draft. So you really have to have submitted the rough draft in order to get the points for the final draft. Does that make sense? All right, if there aren't any more questions, we'll go ahead and call it a day. Do we want to do this again on Monday? We'll be starting new topic on Monday. I'll post some assignments over the weekend. I'll get those posted so that you know what's due on Monday by Monday morning, okay? All right, well, you take care. We had 23 participants today. Thank you. All right. How do I end this? Right there.